Do you think people are ready to adopt AI? Are they skilled enough or they need upskilling?
Of Middle East, they decides, okay, fine, we need to adopt AI. They invest heavily.
A lot of people have told me that the technology is there, but productizing has been a very difficult game. So what is your experience there?
Millions of companies or hundreds of companies in the similar space are facing that problem. It's not my problem, it's a global problem.
Since AI is making progress so quickly as a technology, how do you think it's going to affect software development and data engineering?
AI will drive is operational efficiencies. Soon businesses will realize, specifically Indian businesses also will realize, that we do not need coders. We need the solutions makers, the problem solvers.
AI and related technologies are fairly expensive to acquire. They're not cheap, right? So bigger companies can manage them. But what about SMEs and MSMEs? What should be their strategy in your opinion?
So yes, initially AI investment might look very high. At this point of time, find me a right dress, find me the best shoe. Order that, I'm giving you a budget of let's say 5,000 rupees. Pick the best one for me, put it in my cart, make an order. That's an agent. जो भी पुराने काम होते हैं वो सब AI कर लेगा. समझ और समाधान जो कीमत है ना कभी भी कम नहीं हो पाएगी.
Hi Manu, welcome to Talking Through.
Hi Dipankar, how are you?
Thank you for coming down here and taking out time to speak with us. Before we actually get down to asking you different questions, can you tell us about ScaleupAlly and your vision?
Yeah, sure, definitely. Thank you for inviting me, first of all. So I am Manu. I am the CEO and the co-founder of ScaleupAlly. It's a technology and a data services company. We are based out of Noida. We started back in 2018. The journey has been a roller coaster, but the God has been kind to us, and right now we are a close to 100-member team. We have one office in Australia and another in Dubai. We have recently set up in Dubai. What we are trying to do is we are trying to work with the global businesses into helping them blitz scale through technology. In today's world, everyone is sitting at certain funds to utilize them into AI. Everyone is waiting for the right AI use cases. We are trying to be that solution partner to help them capture the value, bring optimization using solutions through technology, data, and AI.
Right. And tell us a little bit about your background. How did you found ScaleupAlly?
Okay. So the journey, my entrepreneurship journey started back in 2011 in NIT Jaipur. I started my first startup, Pass Karado. Quite an interesting name. It was a platform to upload and download academic material. Within 1 year, we have close to 50,000 registered users. But we were too early in the game. We did not know how to run a business, how to create or monetize the business. And like all my batchmates, I joined a job. But entrepreneurship has its own way of pulling you back. And this is where during my MBA in IMT Ghaziabad, I found another problem which is into MBA college selections. And people struggle in doing that. And this is where we build a machine learning algorithm that helps you match your qualifications and your preferences with college's life and offerings. We did not take any placement. We ran it for 3 years after college. We had close to 1 lakh registered users. We have all the media and hypes around it. But we were so close to raising funds, and at last moment, the investor backed it out. And at that moment, we realized that 6-7 years of this entrepreneurship journey, what it has led to, what are we left with? We are not that skilled to go to the job back. This is where we kept thinking, what should we do next? And an enlightenment came with one of my founders that we are pretty good in building technology pieces. We have built it for ourselves. Let's not chase the billion-dollar company or the billion-dollar idea right now. Let's start helping other founders who have that idea. This led to ScaleupAlly in 2018.
Okay. And when you started ScaleupAlly, what kind of problems do clients bring to you? What are the solutions they're looking for?
It started with a very basic thing. So India, because of the Indian climate around IT services, which has been forged by all these big companies, Uh, every businesses out there globally, you say it, Europe, specifically Germany areas, you say Australia or US, they all look towards India naturally to find technology problems. And at that point of time, the good part is they have this underlying feeling that the Indians are good at technology, so don't need to question them. So the first project that we got was just because we were Indians, and he hoped that we might be good in technology. And we did not have any past projects to do that, to show it. We had our entrepreneurship journey, but nothing related to him. But somehow that got connected. That first project was a very small project of $20 for a client based out of Australia. They wanted to build some chart in Excel. There is some bubble chart, which he was not able to do that. It was a 15-minute job for us, and we did that. And that is how I think the journey started.
Okay. Interesting. And how, like, what is the state of ScaleupAlly now? Like, what are you guys doing now?
Okay. So the state at ScaleupAlly right now is, I would say, it's the biggest change in the last few decades for almost every company in IT services because of the inception of AI. If we are not, thing is that AI is going to automate. We all know it has already automated the content writing work a bit. It is trying to get into the graphical part with new technologies of cursors and co-pilots. It is writing code also. There are certain companies globally which has now reduced the MVP time, which you initially used to take 3 months to develop an MVP. It has now come down to 1 week or 2 weeks maximum. And the AI is writing the code. That is what led us to think back in January 2025. How this industry is going to change, what will be our role in that. And that led to one thing, that now this fight is all about relevance. It's not about just writing a code which is cheaper and faster. It is about a relevance of even a project manager, the CTO, even me myself. Because if AI is going to do a lot of things for you, you don't need a CEO. The entire interaction from a client can be done by an AI. So this is where we started this fight internally to stay relevant. And to stay relevant, what we realized that we need to walk the path. What I mean by that is, we go out in the market and we say that we can build an AI piece for you, or we can build an AI model for you. But we want to walk the talk, and this is where we decided to become an AI first company. All the processes in the company first has to have an AI assistant helping the employee or a team member. We do not call them an employee, we call them a team member. Have an AI assistant to help him or her in a job. The second phase of that will be to make an AI agents of the entire IT or the technology services workflow, from talking to a client to creating proposals, doing negotiations. Once a proposal is sent, how do you gather the requirements, doing designing, development, support period, everything. Automate as much as possible, use AI as much as possible, and become an AI first company by 2026. By the almost April 2026. This has been the, I would say, the conversations that we are having at ScaleupAlly these days.
Right. So with your experience and the interactions that you've had with your clients and obviously people in the industry, do you think people are ready to adopt AI? Are they skilled enough, or they need upskilling to use these things?
Two things. So the biggest advantage of IT services is we are not restricted by Indian market. We are not restricted by any geography per se. The entire globe is our playground. And every geography has its own trajectory for this awareness. As per our recent analysis of the world's market, we realize that the Middle East market, specifically the Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Saudi markets, these are well aware of AI. And one of the fundamental differences that why they are well aware is all the decisions out there are mainly driven from top to bottom. The sheikhs or the kings of Middle East, they decides, okay, fine, we need to adopt AI. They invest heavily. and their inspirations bottle down to the small businesses where they start talking about what we can do. Where in India it's all like it's in a reverse order. It's bottom to top. So there are certain geographies in the world which are much aware, and they have started investing into AI, and they might be expecting a meaningful results in 1 to 2 years. Whereas in the Indian local market, as you mentioned, not a lot of them are aware of it. They still believe it's a lala's business and we can run it. Yes, you can run it, but by the time you realize it, it might be an overnight change where the world has taken because of an AI use cases.
Right. So basically, the competition is coming from everywhere now because AI can do a
Yes.
lot of things, right? You can sit in Germany and challenge somebody here in India,
Yes.
right, to take market. So, of course, and you said about the GCC
Yeah.
region. So, what's your plan to grow there? I know you have a plan to grow in the GCC. So, what's your basic?
So when you do hard work, and now the first thing I said, the God has been kind, and I really mean that. When we were so in every business you get stuck to a certain stages. I define the growth of any business in certain stages. So when you're stuck at certain stage, you need to go to the next stage, whatever you define it. And we were stuck at one stage, and we were not able to grow it. This is where an interesting thing happened. We got a website inquiry, and at that point of time, we never used to do marketing also, the website marketing, the content marketing. We get a website inquiry, and they claim to a big company in Middle East. We had a conversation. One of the founders had a conversation with him, and within a span of 10 days of this conversation, they almost agreed to all our terms. And this deal was turning out to be too good to be true. They never negotiated. They wanted some guys in Dubai, I would say in UAE. They accepted everything. We asked for a 5-star accommodation. They gave that. Everything. And at last point, just before we have to sign that agreement, we realized that it is too good to be true. Our last 10 years have been very troublesome. I don't think one deal can change that. And we were about to cancel that. Somehow we decided, let's take that hit. Let's send one of the founders out there. We sent one of the founders, and we turn out it is one of the defining companies in Abu Dhabi, which is defining the 10, 15 or 20 years of how Abu Dhabi is going to look like. In next 1 year, the entire landscape of our clientele changed. Currently, 25% of our business comes from UAE. This has happened in last 1 year, and when we started going to UAE, we realized a couple of things. So though it's in one way it's a dictatorship, it's not a democratic, but it's a very liberal market. It has unique advantages. What I call it, Dubai specifically is not a city, it's a command center for the globe for innovation. And one of the best part for Indians is majority of the decision makers in the companies, and specifically in the IT sector, all are Indians.
Okay.
So the way you have all the localites, Emiratis, then you have Europeans, then you have Indians. So normally if you go, and this is a unique advantages that India get. If you are an Indian and you're residing in UAE, and if I come and ask about a certain problem statement that you are solving, and you have another person from other geographies, whether in Southeast Asia or whatever, 99.9% you will give it to an Indian. So there are unique advantages that we are trying to leverage on.
Right. And to do business in GCC, do you have to be there like physically, or?
To start with, you do not.
Okay.
We did not have any local presence till last like couple of months. But we realized now to go to the next stage for our business, we need someone local. Okay. And this is where we decided to set up a company out in Dubai. One of the founders was kind enough to relocate to Dubai. And the aspects, the logistics has been done, and he's now handling the Dubai aspect. So you do not need that. It's a very liberal market. It's a very open market. We have free economic zones, which allows 100% ownership of the foreign companies like us.
Okay. And obviously you're working with so many clients across the world, and all of them have unique challenges. So how do you manage the quality and the trust and your own costs and profitability? How do you manage all of that?
Um, it's a very interesting thing. Uh, Managing the profitability is still somehow possible in IT sector, but the amount of money you take as a founder back at your home, somehow it remains constant despite your 2x of growth.
Mhm.
And we realize it when we hit close to 70, 80 team members.
Mhm.
That what we used to take back in 40, when we were 40 team members, and now what we are taking at 80 team members is almost the same.
And why is that?
The whole nuance is it's a headcount game.
Mhm.
So a client gave you X,
Mhm.
you need to deliver at certain cost. In the entire IT services market, they normally follow a 3x rule. They try to maintain, like, if the cost is 3x, so if the project is at, let's say, 1000 rupees or 10 lakh rupees, they try to have it in one third of the cost. They try to do that margin. But now when you start scaling it up, you need more headcounts to do that project. You need certain guys on the bench. Not every project turns out to be favorable, despite you did a quality work. So there is a loss of uh, revenues also. Plus, to manage the team, then you need managers. And managers might not be on the client payrolls or the client billing rates. So what we realized, the net was still the same.
So the business grows, but the founder's take home is not.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
That led to another revelation for us, that we do not want to be in a business where we might have 500 employees. We have 1000 employees, but still it's something that is struggling on the monetary aspect. Not because we want to take much out of home, but it's more towards you need money to run the engine, to run the car. And this was backed by a lot of other IT companies and the founders of other IT companies who are in the similar state, despite they have 50 employees or 500 employees.
So, because we do these podcasts, and so we get to meet a lot of people, and a lot of people from the industry, startup, and also people who are very experienced with AI. A lot of people have told me that the technology is there, but productizing has been a very difficult game. So, what is your experience there?
It is difficult, it is hard, but one needs to do that. And I've always so when you work in a very matured market, the problem that you are facing, it's not your only problem. Like, it's not the problem that you as a sole business having it in the entire globe. Millions of companies or hundreds of companies in the similar space are facing that problem. It's not my problem, it's a globe problem. And this is where I started investigating. When you realize that your takeaways are same, and you also realize that AI is going to, what we used to charge a client for 3 months, now they're expecting in 2 weeks or 1 month max. You cannot make money, or you need more projects out of it. That led us to thinking, how do we productize the services? And the best examples to learn from is, there are IT companies or technology companies in Europe also, in US also. And at least we can have good guys at economical rates. They cannot. What are they doing? And this is where I realized that some of the companies have already cracked the market of productizing the services. Upon further investigation with the market and everything, we realized what is happening is, we work with any business. They ask us to do a MVP or POCs, or they give us a project for 1 year or 2 years. If this project gets successful, they try to take in-house, because it has now become a monetary engine for them. And as it becomes a monetary engine, this was a time for you to make money out of it. But it has been moved from outsourced to an in-house one. So all the hard work that you did for 2 years, it's not something that you will going to reap the benefit out of it. So what And this is now becoming global now. How about, and this is a conversation that we are having back and nothing has been formalized, how about you make this as a model itself, where you talk to SMEs globally, say you have certain ideas to run. Let us run that for 6 months, 1 year, depending on use case. And once that are stable, we'll try to set up an entire IT team for you there, and we'll hand over the work to you. So you try to create a playbook, and you know this is going to happen. So why not leverage that?
Right.
So this is a small example of how do you understand what is coming in the market and try to productize your services. Rather than you going and telling, okay, fine, you have one project, give it to us.
And you know, since AI is making progress so quickly as a technology, how do you think it's going to affect software development and data engineering?
Oh, it is going to do a lot. Uh, Regular works, bug fixing, uh, normal coding part, everything, even fixing the Excel because the data is not clean, everything is going to automate, and it's already automated. The whole point is what AI will drive is operational efficiencies. Soon businesses will realize, specifically Indian businesses also will realize, that we do not need coders. We need the solutions makers, or the problem solvers. So the businesses will be looking for the person or for the companies who understand their business, who understand their industry, who understand their business and business problems and convert them into a technology solutions, and then use AI to monetize that. Who can do that will become as a champion in the technology services domain.
Okay.
So now for any IT company who are going to do legacy outsourcing, they are not going to survive long. AI, consider AI is like an engine, but you still need to design a car. You still need to drive the direction, and you still need to ensure that it does not crash. That is what these companies or our role will be.
Okay. And AI and related technologies are fairly expensive to acquire. Like, they're not cheap, right? So bigger companies can manage them. But what about SMEs and MSMEs? Like, what should be their strategy, in your opinion?
AI as an infrastructure, yes, it might cost you a good amount of money over the span of many years. But if you see the same case when computers were introduced, it was a heavy investment at that point of time, and it used to require regular servicing. I remember I was lucky. My dad gave me presented me a computer, a desktop in 2000 or 2001. I came back from school and there was a desktop sitting out there. I used to play mini games through clips, and we used to have telephone that got connected to that, and we used to have tick 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 line to connect with internet. And I realized it was we have an AMC. A person used to come, open the CPUs, clean the fan, and things like that. It was an expensive thing at that point of time. But the amount of skills, the amount of things that I learned in 2004-5, I used to know Word, PowerPoint, Excel, because it was there in the computers at that point of time. So yes, initially AI investment might look very high, but the amount of or the operational efficiencies it is going to improve for you, it is phenomenal. I'll give you one of the use cases. One of our recent clients came to us and asked for an AI automation. So they run a placement company in Singapore, and every time they need to have certain candidates and certain job openings, and they need to match it. And their matching was not simple filter based. It was little more refined, and they have certain humans to do that. But humans were not able to reproduce the same accuracy of results every time. There was issues in that. They came to us. We built an AI agent for them that does an entire automations from this matching algorithm. And we know how to do that because we did it in our previous startup also. We did that within a month, and they ran it for 3 months, and we realized that 40% of their operational efficiencies was improved just because they spent a good amount of money in 1 month, but now they have a long-term benefit.
And since you mentioned about agents, can you explain, like, very simply, what is the difference between a custom GPT and an agent?
Okay, I will try to explain in two parts.
Yeah,
one is more towards what exactly it means from a technology point of view, and what is in a layman's point of view. I'll talk about technology. So agentic AIs. So AI is not now just an assistant. It has become an agentic AI. What agentic AI means, it understands the workflows, it understands the localizations, it also understands how do you do business deals. And then using these three aspects, you give him a power to make an autonomous decision. So I'll give you a very layman example. बचपन की बात है, थोड़ा बड़ा हो गया था 6th-7th में, शाम को मेहमान आ रहे हैं, मम्मी ने बोला कि यार ये खत्म हो रहा है, आलू खत्म हो रहे हैं, दूध खत्म हो रहा है, जाके मार्केट से लिया। मैंने पूछा मार्केट कहाँ है? मम्मी ने कहा ये वाला मार्केट है। मम्मी ने मुझे बताया ये मार्केट है, ये रुपए दिए, ये बताया ये लेके आना इतने किलो की, ये इंस्ट्रक्शंस पास हुए। मैं वहाँ गया मार्केट में, मैंने अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग के हिसाब से बेस्ट आलू पिक कर लिए, बेस्ट सामान पिक कर लिए, दूध ले रहे हैं तो आपने उस पर एक्सपायरी डेट देख ली, एंड केम बैक एंड गिव इट टू मदर। जो भी मैं सामान लेके आया हूँ वो, बिकॉज मदर हैज टू डू सम इम्पोर्टेंट वर्क्स, हेंस उन्होंने वो काम मुझे दे दिया। सो आई बिकेम एन एजेंट फॉर हर सर्टेन आउटकम्स, इतने पैसे लगेंगे, लमसम ये रेट्स आती है, तो करके ले आना। तो उन्होंने अपना मेन काम कर लिया, जो भी इनका इंपॉर्टेंट काम था, और ये इनके लिए जो थोड़ा सा लेसर था वो मैंने कर दिया। ऑब्वियसली इसका जो आउटकम होगा, जो मेरी मदर जाती उतना बेस्ट नहीं होता। शी कुड हैव पिक्ड बेस्ट आलूज, आई कुड नॉट हैव, बट दैट वाज नॉट एन इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट। सो दैट इज व्हाट एजेंट्स आर डूइंग. Consider you now as a mother in that case, and you have agents. They can do any work that you want, and the best part is they can do 24/7. That is what the power of AI agents is. What we are trying to do, and as I mentioned, we are becoming an AI first company. So whenever I'll give you a small example. Whenever sales call happen with one of us, like a sales rep goes onto a call and does a conversion, we automatically have an agent that understand the transcripts, create a minutes of meeting, send it to the client. At the same time, he analyze the calls, take the previous calls of the same sales rep, and give him an outcome. How well did he do? Was he learning from his past mistakes or not? Did he give the right examples? Because he already knows the project library that we have done. So it's a constant learning. We do not have to invest into separate L&Ds for sales rep. Similarly, another example, as soon as the project scope is set, and there is an AI agent that understands the scopes, create into a meaningful user stories are a technical word, into meaningful chunks and features. That is what AI is doing in our organization. And that has led us to have the same strength, but trying to then increase the revenues.
And what is, like, as I said, the difference between a custom GPT and
custom GPT is still an assistant. As per my understanding, still an assistant, where you might have customized it by your background, by your problem statement, by your things, and it can help you. For example, you can scan your parents' prescriptions or MRIs or any kind of reports and to GPT, and can tell you the problem. If you want to see how your one output looks like, the custom GPTs can help you out there. But it cannot take a decision on their behalf. The power is, if I say I want to come to this podcast at this point of time, find me a right dress, find me the best route, order that. I'm giving you a budget of, let's say, 5,000 rupees. Pick the best one for me, put it in my cart, make an order. That's an agent.
Exactly. So basically, the custom GPT is just for mostly analysis or knowledge retrieval, and an agent can do something about it, right? That's the difference.
He has the power of making autonomous
decisions, right? So a lot of your clients, startup founders or people who are leading companies, they're non-technical people. So how do you help them, because they're non-technical?
It's tough to make anyone aware about the challenges that can happen if they come from a non-similar background. That is where a lot of heavy lifting needs to be done in the initial stages of the conversations or the closures or whatever. And that is going to be a constant challenge for us throughout, like in moving ahead. And also it's a common problem for all the companies similar size to us, catering to the similar clientele. What we are trying to do, again, we are trying to use certain playbooks to help gauge their current understanding. Every client has a different knowledge of technology. In the sales process, we have a particular part where we try to understand their personality. What we have internally done is we have divided these founders into 4 personality types: visionary, analytical, team members, and things like that. We try to analyze what category they lie into. Basis that, we try to converse or sway our discussions as per their personality. And with that, we also try to understand their level of technology understanding. This then helps our sales rep, our project managers, our technical leads to mold their conversations as per the client's personality. Because it is not my job to make him equally aware as we are. He has trusted us. He has a problem statement. He has trusted us in our capabilities, in our excellence, that we can do his job. He does not need to know so much. He just needs to know the basics of it. He needs to know the cost implications of it. He needs to have certain informations to make the decisions at the right time, which features to pick, which not to pick, what is more aligned to that business. So the way we have solved this problem is not making them fully aware of the entire universe of ours, but trying to understand them in a strategic format, in a playbook format, and then creating our internal ecosystem that gets associated to as per their understanding.
Now I actually want to ask you about few things about running a business, right? So obviously when you kind of start a company, so the entire team that you build is a founders led team. So for you personally, how do you make sure that your team is focused on your mission and growth and revenue targets?
So we are 4 founders. All of them are, like, we know each other from almost a decade. We have been friends before the business. And this is where we have been lucky. It's not we became friends because we were founders. Now, how do you do that alignment? Because we are friends first, we understand each other. So that becomes a little easier in my case. But when you grow, I understand it becomes a little hard, because one founder wants to do it fast, one founder wants to do it perfect, one founder wants to maybe find a balance. And how do you do that? And normally I give an example at back into the office. Consider a table or a sofa. मैंने बोला है कि इस सोफे को यहाँ से हटाकर वहाँ लगाना है, ठीक है? अब से मैंने बोला सोफा हटाना है और 4 लोग बैठे हैं. अब क्या करेंगे? सब अपने अपने अंडरस्टैंडिंग के हिसाब से उसको सरकाएंगे. कोई यहाँ से पकड़ेगा, कोई यहाँ से, कोई पीछे से, और धक्का लगाएंगे, राइट? वो कहाँ जाएगा नो वन नोस. पर मैं बोल दूं कि ये वहां पे जाना है, और जब मैं काउंट ऑफ 3 हो, 3 पे सबको एक साथ पुश करना है, then it becomes a very seamless process. It's a very simple example, it's a yet very powerful thing. If you break down that vision, it needs to that communicated. So it needs to be communicated in a very layman language. First among the founders, and it has to be done not only once but multiple times. It has to be done through conversations at home when you're dining it out, or when you're trying to have certain hobbies together, you're trying to do something. You need to have this conversation multiple times so that the alignment happens first. Once you know that alignment happens, then The second step is you need to get that alignment across the team, across the organization, team members, whatever, which is a very cumbersome process. It takes a lot of time. But you still try to gauge, or you try to tell them this is where we are trying to go. The third aspect comes is, as I mentioned, the countdown 3, 2, 1, and then we need to push it. So that timeline needs to be set it out, articulated clearly, that from today we are going to do this. We are giving ourselves for 6 months of time or 1 year of time. This is what we are going to analyze it, how we are going to analyze the performance. If you do that, then every day you do not have to come and motivate these guys. You have given them an agenda. You have to, you know that you trust them. And then you know that they will do the job.
And there are times in business that things don't go as you have planned, right?
Always.
And mostly it does not.
Always.
So how do you deal with that, you and your founding team?
It was a struggle at the start, when we were just college grads or pass outs. And it was very tough because you used to think that the point that you are thinking is going to change your life drastically. The idea, the next feature, the next strategy is going to change everything, or the next deal is going to change everything. In the last 10 years, almost, my first startup was in 2011, my pre-final year of graduation. It's almost more than a decade. I realized that it is not that small feature, small thing that is going to change my life or my founder's life or my company's life drastically. So entrepreneurship is not about that big win. It is about staying in the game long enough to earn that win. So when such problems arises among the founders, we all have somehow inculcated that, I would say, the habit of not taking it very personally. And secondly, trying to sleep with that idea for one night at least. And then let's have a conversation. It could be the case, in majority of the cases, that if it is my idea, if I'm proposing it to you, tomorrow I might come and say something else, which might be more aligned to what you were saying. First is that this is where we try to solve the major problems that any companies with 4 founders, ego wars can happen. And this is, we have been able to do it successfully, touch wood. Second is trying to make the organization as a data-driven organization. If you have the numbers with you, no one, despite founders, managers, or any junior staff, we all are very good in maths as an Indians. We are analytical at the basic level. And once the numbers are presented, you're bound to, you understand the problem. And once you understand the problem, solutions are very straightforward. The whole problem is to finding the right problem or the right question.
Drafting the problem is the problem.
Is the problem. तो मतलब क्या बात करनी है डिस्कशन पे भी, तो हमने क्या करा है, मतलब in the last we had one board of advisories. We created a board of advisories to help us in this journey. हमारे लिए सब फर्स्ट टाइम हो रहा है. Every day is new for, literally new for us. हमने नहीं देखा कल क्या होने वाला है. So we created this board of advisories who are well known into this aspect, and they have told us run everything by numbers. हर चीज को मेजर करो, measure what matters, and this is what we have done in last quarter. अब क्या हो, कॉन्वर्सेशन और आसान हो गए फाउंडर्स के साथ, मैनेजर्स के साथ. आई होप दैट इट आंसर्स.
Sure. And say if you turn back the clock to say 2011, 2010, when you were a new grad, would you still take the decision of being an entrepreneur, or would you want to be working in some fancy firm?
आज आप पूछोगे तो आई वुड से आई हैव टेकन द राइट डिसीजन. बट और ये बहुत ब्रूटल सच है, ये हर दिन बदल सकता है. जो सिचुएशन होती है सबसे हर दिन बदल सकता है. जब भी मार्च आता है, बैलेंस शीट्स निकलती हैं, प्रॉफिट लॉस निकलता है, पता पड़ता है कि हमारा टेक अब अभी भी नहीं बढ़ रहा है, बट स्टिल द सेम. यू ऑलवेज, मार्च इज द मोस्ट ट्रबलसम पीरियड. यू अंडरस्टैंड हम कर रहे हैं तो क्या कर रहे हैं. बट एज सून एज अप्रैल आता है, It all turns out to be a little optimistic. यार ये प्रॉब्लम थी, हमने ये करा है, अब क्या करें? So at one point of time in the early stage of scaleupAlly, I used to think very openly that one needs to have a startup at the age of 35, because by that time you have certain connects. I think in the similar trajectory that you guys are trying to do that. You understand the business, you have a decent industry exposure, almost a decade. You have networks. Now whatever you're trying to do, you can do it very easily, very fast, and you with money also in the pockets. But what I have seen, there are a lot of friends of mine who keep talking about entrepreneurship. Still, they are not able to make that jump. And what I realize from 22, in the BTech, you graduate at 22 till 35, so almost 12, 13 years of job. Somehow the mindset has changed, and you will not be able to make that big jump. I'm not saying everyone cannot do that. People are doing that. My friends are doing that. But majority of them will not be able to do that. वो पीछे हट चुके हैं because of this 9 to 5 job की constraints. और शायद मैं भी होता, तो शायद मैं भी हो चुका होता. And that is why today I'm saying, I'm lucky that I started this thing. जब liability बिल्कुल नहीं थी. There is no rockstar का एक वो है dialogue कि मेरे लाइफ में क्या पेन रहा है, मेरे माँ बाप जिंदा है, मेरे घर में सब ठीक है, वो है. So I have the similar, everything is very sorted out in the life. I never had to give money to my parents. I have an elder sister who was earning well, and everything was there. And hence when I started that point, there was no liability at me. So whatever I did it for myself. So we never asked money from the parents. We burnt whatever we had acquired.
Yeah, dug your own well and drank water.
That's a nice quote.
Yeah, nice. No, I really appreciate you sharing that very candidly. Because a lot of people, might, weave it into a nice sounding story, but entrepreneurship is brutal sometimes. That it is.
I say these big magazines have is talking about entrepreneurship. उनको पढ़ना छोड़ दें, है ना, and we talk to few founders, वो बहुत brutal है. I have seen people doing well in life. I used to admire them. उन्होंने कितना अच्छा कर लिया कितने कम टाइम में. And I've also seen them crying on Friday nights by understanding the pain that they are having because of maybe the house is not in order, the organization is not doing well, something like that.
Right. And my last question for today. You've been seeing the growth of AI and emerging technologies. So for the next couple of years, maybe I'm just giving it too broad a time gap, but maybe a year or so, what kind of tech trends you think tech companies should follow for growth?
Very hard to answer. लास्ट ईयर हम सोचते थे कि AI कोडिंग नहीं कर पाएगा. उसने कंटेंट राइटिंग करी थी चैट जीपीटी ने, फिर कुछ ग्राफिक्स बनाए थे, तो हमें लगा था क्योंकि कोडिंग हार्ड एस्पेक्ट होता है, इट कैन नॉट डू दैट. हम बात ही कर रहे थे और अभी देखो, we internally are using AI. We have, as I mentioned, there are tools which are creating your softwares or analysis within 1 week. तो वो जो था वो खत्म हो चुका है, हमें रियलाइज हो चुका है. Every 3 months the world is changing very drastically, है ना. और so considerably अगर आप माउंट एवरेस्ट देख रहे हो, तो कुछ टाइप के लोग होते हैं माउंट एवरेस्ट को देख के बोलते हैं यार मैं कैसे चढ़ूंगा, और कुछ वही बोलते हैं यार मजा आएगा चढ़ने में. चढ़ दोनों फर्स्ट टाइम ही रहे. इट्स ऑल अबाउट द एटीट्यूड दैट यू हैव बिल्ट इन योरसेल्फ. सो द वे आई एम सीइंग एआई कि हमें अब जो भी फाउंडर इसके लिए एक्साइटेड है, या जो भी कंपनीज के लीडरशिप जो एक्साइटेड है, they will be able to figure out a use case. They will be able to figure out a monetization strategy for the AI. ये हो जाएगा, ये फॉर श्योर है. तो वहां से स्टार्ट होता है विद इन देमसेल्व्स, और वही अपने आप को रिलेवेंट बना पाएंगे. तो सबसे बड़ा ट्रेंड तो ये आने वाला है. सब फाउंडर्स जो मैनेजर लेवल पे जा चुके थे, उनको वापस फाउंडर लेवल पे आना पड़ेगा. स्टार्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग द प्रॉब्लम्स, ट्रेंड्स एंड एवरीथिंग. सेकंड थिंग, अगर आपको लग रहा है कि आपकी इंडस्ट्री एआई से बची हुई है, तो वो जस्ट मैटर ऑफ टाइम होगा, वो नहीं होने वाला. थर्ड, अगर मेरी डोमेन की बात करूं, everything that is being done, एक software development life cycle होती है या एक data development life cycle होती है, everything that is there can be orchestrated by AI, है ना? टूल्स अपनी जगह रहेंगे, आज एक टूल है, कल को दूसरा होगा, तीसरा होगा, आज जीपीटी का एक मॉडल है, कल को जेमिनी का आ जाएगा, किसी को और का आ जाएगा. They all will keep fighting their wars. You need to be smart enough to understand which one is working best for you till what point of time in your business growth. Use that, hire someone to do that, hire a consultant to do that, run that POC, and incorporate into your organization. ये ट्रेंड मैं सबसे ज़्यादा अपने क्लाइंटेल्स में देखने वाला हूँ. टूल्स टेक्नोलॉजीज का एक कहावत है, बहुत ही चीज़ी सी कहावत है, तो मेरे फाउंडर बोलता है, एआई तो आ गया है, जो भी पुराने काम होते हैं वो सब एआई कर लेगा, बट जो समझ और सोल्यूशन का समाधान, समझ और समाधान की जो कीमत है ना, कभी भी कम नहीं हो पाएगी. तो anyone who comes with the knowledge and the wisdom, he will be able and capable enough to understand the AI landscape and use it into his own, I would say, the business or the personal life or the value proposition.
I guess I have asked you a lot of questions about yourself and the business, and what do you think about different trends, especially AI. Anything that you will like to tell the audience about? Anything, your message to them?
So it's all connected. It's a fight for relevance, and I will tell you how this is connected. बचपन में हम सबने सुपर हीरोज मूवीज देखी है. हिंदी होते थे नागराज, चाचा चौधरी, अब मार्वल्स, अवेंजर्स हैं, एंड वी ऑल एस्पायर कि हमारे पास भी सुपर पावर होती तो मैं क्या करता. गेम भी होता था, यार आपके पास एक सुपर पावर होगी 24 आवर्स के लिए, कौन सी लेना चाहोगे, क्या चेंज करना चाहोगे. दिस यूज्ड टू एसएएस में होता था, दोस्तों में बात होती थी. आज वो सुपर पावर हमारे पास है, वो मात्र $20 पर मंथ में मिल रही है, किसी भी एआई टूल का सब्सक्रिप्शन. दिस इज व्हाट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट. If you are still not utilizing this for your self improvement, for your self awareness, self journey, तो वो हम एक बहुत बड़ा मिस कर रहे हैं. $20 ₹1800, ₹2000, ₹2000 हम ऐसे ही खर्च कर लेते हैं. आई एम नॉट अपीलिंग फॉर एनी पर्टिकुलर टूल, चैट जीपीटी और व्हाटएवर इट इज, बट वो एक सुपर पावर है कि जो 1800 ₹2000 मिल रही है हमें पर मंथ के लिए, and उसका इमेजिनेशन बियॉन्ड एनीथिंग. अगर आज भी हम ये सोच रहे हैं कि मैं ₹2000 को मैं किसी बचे हुए पैसे को म्यूचुअल फंड एसआईपी में डाल दूं और ना खुद पे इन्वेस्ट करूं, तो ये बहुत बड़ा एक गैप है. वी आर इन एरा ऑफ बीइंग रेलेवेंट because we are fighting an intelligence which is artificial, and we need every tool at our disposal to make it our friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing all your thoughts with us and with the audience. And I wish you all the best for ScaleupAlly.
Thank you so much. It has been a great pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the best for your future podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you.